Guys, unfortunately, a lot of preppers focus more on buying long-term storage foods and putting back gear than they do actually worrying about, self-reliance in the long term. They prepare for the short term with those long-term storage foods. They will buy firearms, ammunition because it's fun, and they won't really have any infrastructure put in, anything that can extend their preparedness past, their survival food storage. When their stockpile runs out, then they're going to be screwed. You're going to have no fallback plan whatsoever at all. And you need to have, a fallback plan. You need to be able to produce at least some of your own food. All if possible, but even I don't do all of my own food right now. However, I do have infrastructure put in to produce quite a bit of food actually, and to extend, my food storage, and I could actually over time build up to producing pretty much all of my own food here on my property. But even if you take prepping out of the equation, gardening can save money. If you hunt, you can save money on food. Gardening, you can save money on food. If you fish, trap, you can use that production of food, from your garden, from your animals, from your trapping, from your fishing, to cut back on your food costs. You can buy something else. It doesn't have to be, all about prepping. If you can cut back your food cost several $1,000s in a year, you could put that toward something else. You could put that towards paying off debt. You could put that toward going on a vacation or whatever. So it's not really all about SSTF and the world we know it. It can be about, just saving money, living a minimalist lifestyle. Now, let's go around my property here. We'll look at a few things I have set up here, and let's talk about what you could be doing on your property also. You don't have to have a lot of property. I have 3 acres here, and you can do a lot on 3 acres. If you have an acre, a half an acre, and it's good flat land, which mine is a lot of hillside, but if you have a half an acre of good level ground, you can produce a lot of food on that half an acre. You can save a lot of money, and to me, that is huge. It's not all about prepping and survival. A lot of it is about saving money, eating more healthy. If you grow your own food, then you know how it's raised. You know what fertilizer has been used, if any. You know if it's organic or not. You know what pesticides have been used, whether it's chemicals or organic or not. You know because you did it yourself. You came from a small plant or a seed, and you grew that your own self from plant or seed all the way up till you harvest that, and then you will can that, freeze that, and you will eventually prepare that and eat that. So you're involved all the way through, the process, which is huge in my opinion. But guys, having a good assortment of gardening tools is huge. You can get a lot of gardening tools secondhand at flea markets and places like that. I picked up some of these, at yard sales and flea markets, and I got some of these, new when I first bought these. But and this is just part of what I have some more, another building out there. But getting a good assortment of gardening tools and tools to do things with and repair things with, you can actually use those tools to save money and actually make more money in the long term. So constantly be on the lookout for different tools you can pick up, used, make sure the handles are good, or you want to replace the handles if they're not. Get those at a really cheap price, and you can have a really good toolbox of all sorted tools, gardening tools, woodworking tools, automobile repair tools, gunsmithing tools, whatever you're used to, whatever you are competent in or you want to learn about, you can get tools and buy those, a lot of those used, but it's definitely a huge investment. I'd rather have tools than I would, a whole bunch of dollar bills instead of the tools. And guys, another tool that's definitely worth investing in is a good garden tiller, especially if you're going to be planting a garden, the traditional row method in the ground and not in raised beds. Having a garden tiller can be a huge time saver, and it can definitely save, a lot of work if you're trying to dig that up by hand. Of course, you can hire someone if you may have a tractor yourself and be able to plow that and get that discus, and that is great, and it's good to do that the first couple of times to work that soil. But then after that, once you get that soil loosened up, you can use a garden tiller like this to till up your garden and get ready for planting. I bought this one about 9 years ago, I guess that it was, and it's been, a really good garden tiller. So I think I gave $650 for this, I think, when I bought this, if I remember correctly. and it's paid for itself. It's definitely been worth it, and it's still running and still operating as it did when I first bought it. And guys, something else that a lot of people are interested in is solar. My solar system is very basic. I have this for my building here, and I have some lights in the building, and I have where I can plug in tools and stuff in this building here, and it runs off of these solar panels. I have one battery hooked up. The other battery isn't any good. The other battery is shot, so I get another battery to replace that one. So it just has one battery, but I could expand this out to multiple batteries, and I keep an extra battery that's put up inside the building that's not hooked up, because I want to have extra battery in case, that one goes down. So I want to have a backup. But as far as my solar goes, like I said, it's small, but having some backup is good. And I power this building here through this solar system, this very basic solar system here. So I have, lights. I have a rope light in the building. I have a couple of different kind of lights in the building. I have some plugs to plug in things inside the building, and it's all ran off of solar. Also, gardening. You can see here the soil looks pretty good. Got that ready for next year. Compost. Having your own compost is great. And this year, the way you use this, you take the door off, put your organic matter in, and then turn it. And then when you put more in, you turn it. And then when it gets full, you check it, and usually when it gets full, and it might take a couple of months to do that, and you're turning this and using this, then you can take that and put it on the garden to increase your soil fertility. Another 4x8 garden bed. This one right here needs to be cleaned out, actually, because I had some beans planted in this last year. You can see this is a 4x4 foot, so we have 4x8, 4x8, 4x4, and you can see I have fencing up this carport here to grow crops upward. Same thing, over here you can see the fence goes all the way up here, so I can plant pole beans, pole beans, cucumbers, vegetables that climb can be planted in these beds, and they grow up these wires here, and it increases, your growing space. And over here are some more raised beds. These are all 4 by 8 feet. You can see I have these ready for next summer. I actually put this straw on, and this is untreated straw. For anyone's going to ask, I put this in on top of the beds during the fall, and some of this will decompose and rot and compost, inside of these garden beds, naturally. So you can see here I have 6 of these beds, 6 by 8 foot, to plant crops in. So you can see I have 6 of these, 4 by 8 foot here, 2 on the other side, and then 1 4 by 4 on the other side. So altogether I have 6, 7, 8 this size here, and then 1 that's 4 by 4 foot long. And guys, something else you might want to look into is putting in some fruit trees. You can see here I planted this one last year, and this one is a peach tree. It's not produced yet. You can see it's getting fairly tall, actually right now. I planted this past spring. So putting in some fruit trees, I have some apple trees here. Also, I have 3 apple trees actually, the dwarf kind of apple trees. And down here is my other garden area. I've been working in this garden area for several years now. And you can see here, it goes from here all the way over here. That's about 12 foot wide by about 45 foot long, as you can see here. I need to till this up. Actually, you can see where I've been tilling this. I didn't plant this last year. I'm trying to let this kind of settle, and I've been adding compost. I've been adding chicken manure to this, just right on top of the ground, and letting it rot on top. And then when it gets close planting time, probably about the end of April, I will take the garden tiller and till this up. And like I said, this is approximately 12 to 15 foot wide by about 35 or 45 foot long garden area here. That's in addition to, the raised beds. So putting this infrastructure on your property to grow some of your own food to save money is definitely huge. And another thing you can do is get some chickens, some laying hens. You can see here I have a good sized coop that goes all the way You can see here all the way through this way, and that wire is actually tripled. And I have an electric wire running from the box around this too to keep out, you know, dogs and things like that from trying to get these chickens. And I have the top, as you can see here, covered with chicken wire. I have to keep out hawks. And I have 8 hens and a rooster in here, and they produce, you know, all the eggs that we can eat. And I actually have to give some of these away because they lay too much right now, and it's winter time here. It's pretty warm today, but they're still, you know, they're putting out the eggs. And I get off of these hens between 4 and 7 eggs pretty much every single day. There is Chuck. As you can see, Chuck. I don't have the hens today, I'm just a rooster. And you can see he's a beautiful rooster. And he can definitely crow. Maybe he'll crow here in a minute, because he likes to crow a lot. But he is huge. There comes the other ones out. I have 2 of the Easter egg layers that lays the light blue eggs. You can see on the back side over there, I have a lattice on that side over there because that's where most animals will come in and try to get into. It's through right there. I actually had over here in the corner, you can see that there's not in that corner right over there. There were some dogs that were trying to get in right there one day and actually ripped part of that lattice out. And I was here and I tried to run the dogs off. I shot under their feet to try to scare them off, and they wouldn't leave. I came down here and they tried to bite me, so they're no longer a problem. I had to take care of the problem in the best way that I could at the time. Sometimes you have to do that. You can't let stray dogs come and kill, you know, your flock. You can't let stray dogs come to your property and bite you when you're trying to make them leave. And sometimes you have to do what needs to be done. And guys, like I said, focusing on food production is great. You can do many different things. Like, for example, these are snare traps, different sizes. Here is a smaller size. There's, I think, like 12 there. And leg hold traps. You can see body traps. You can see those have been used quite a bit, actually, for, you know, to catch rabbit and squirrels and things. You can put these in trees. You can put these on dens, entrances, and you can catch a lot of meat with traps. Snares, body grip traps, leg hold traps, fishing poles that go fishing. Over here is something else. You can see the live animal traps here, and there's 4 there. And I have more outside out here. I'll show you in a second, different sizes. So these work great that you can catch, you know, an animal. And unlike snares and body hold traps, leg hold traps, the animal won't be damaged, and you can look and you can let you catch something you don't want, like someone's house cat. You can let that out, and you can pick and choose what you want to keep to eat or what you want to set free with these live animal traps. Something else is traps like this to catch minnows, and you can use these to catch bait to catch bigger fish. And there's another leg hold trap and a body trap you can see there. I need to clean my building up here because I have way too much junk inside this building. It's not really junk, but you know what I mean. Something else that's good also, guys, is chainsaws. Very definitely recommend. I have Husqvarna and a steel chainsaw here. And guys, something else with, you know, backup power is battery banks like this right here. And I have several right here, as you can see, to provide extra backup power. And I have several more inside the house. These are good. I keep these all charged up all the time in case the power goes out. And, you know, I can have power for several days and I have to actually recharge anything because I can just change out to a different one. And guys, these are portable solar panels. You can see here we have 6 of these portable solar panels, and these will just fold out. And you can use these, as you can see here, to charge battery banks back up. And guys, here's 2 more live animal traps. You can see this one is quite large compared to my hand here, and that one's big enough to catch fox and even a coyote in this trap here. This one's a smaller one. I got this actually at a yard sale. This is rabbit size. You get squirrels in this, small birds. So those things are definitely something I want to stock up on, is these live animal traps. And guys, you also need to think about how you're going to heat your home, especially if you live in an environment that has wild temperature swings like I do here. You know, we can go from, right now it's pretty comfortable in probably the 50s right now. You can go from this to the minus digits here. So having multiple heat sources is good. And what I have is natural gas, and I also have electric heat, 2 different heat pumps, one for the downstairs here and one for the upstairs. And here we have, you know, those for heat sources. Here, that's for the downstairs, and that's for the upstairs. And I also have a wood stove that I'll show you out here in just a minute. And guys, I have 2 natural gas heaters like this right here. One upstairs and one downstairs, and these will work even if the power goes off. Long wave, shortwave radio, and I have a really nice, you can see here, antenna hooked up to this to get a better signal. And guys, this little guy right here is excellent for charging cell phones and things like that. And guys, this is the other natural gas heater that's downstairs. You can see here it's the same kind. It works without having power. Don't use this one much down here. Use the one upstairs a lot more because I live up there, but I have one downstairs, you know, just in case. Hello. And guys, here's 2 more live animal traps inside my basement here. You can see different sizes. One is for raccoon size, and the other one rabbits and squirrel size. So different sizes for different animals. And over here, you can see I have a wood stove in the basement. That's another heat source, is this wood stove. So I have natural gas, electric heat, and a wood stove. I also need to have, you know, some firewood. I have this inside the house, and I have a bunch more outside. You probably saw a minute ago. Having stored water is also good. Right here I have 3 drums full of water. And up here is a good assortment of, you know, gunsmithing tools. Up here, first aid kit's also great. You can see I focus most of my tools, as far as what I do down here, on gunsmithing work. I was cleaning it up down here, and I actually put a lot of crap up here. Don't need to be up here right now. I need to put somewhere else. Like my grain grinder right there, I had that somewhere else, and I was cleaning that area up and putting stuff on the table. You know how you do to take this stuff and put it somewhere else later. And that's why this is such a big mess right here, right now. And guys, here are my main 2 power stations. And I keep these inside the house where I have a security system and everything set up, ADT, camera set up and everything to keep anyone from stealing my shit, because people will, and I don't want that to happen. So I have a lot of security set up here to keep people from stealing, you know, what I have. But this is a Mega 5, and this is a Mega 3 portable power station, as you can see here. And also, you know, tools is something else you need to get, like auto mechanic type tools is good. Something like, you know, an air compressor is great also to do things with. But anyways, guys, hope this video helped and get you some encouragement to actually put in some self-reliance infrastructure where you are. If you just have, you know, a small lot, you can do a lot with that. Try to look at it and see what you can do, what you need to do, and try to get that done. And it's not always about prepping and surviving doomsday. A lot of times it can be just about saving money, living more simply, living a minimalist lifestyle. So look into that, do what you can where you are to get more self-reliant. Also, if you haven't checked out my other channel, the View from Appalachia, then go over to my other channel and subscribe to that. I'll put a link description box below for that channel, or you can just do a search, The View from Appalachia. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video, hopefully.